Hello walkers, and welcome back to City Walks. Excuse me, my name is Henry. I will be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide on this treadmill travel video, this relaxed walking video, relaxed travel. This one's a special one for me. City Walks is a channel where we go and explore places. We walk around, we discover. I say virtual travel guide, but I'm not a travel guide. I'm a co-explorer, if you will. We're gonna see some cool stuff, we're gonna discover some stuff, we're gonna notice some details, and we're gonna have a nice relaxing time. Nice relaxing virtual walk. If you haven't guessed from the title, we are in, well, let me start here. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make these walks possible. You encourage me with your support. I appreciate that. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, not just Patreon supporters, but all of yours, please do so. It's a big help. It lets YouTube know that this channel is worth watching. And of course, as always, please share your comments, your additions, your corrections, your memories and personal stories, your triumphs and travails in the comment section below. I love interacting with you guys. It's one of my biggest joys. We are in Wilmington, North Carolina today. You might recognize this courthouse here. They're doing a little work from the old 1990s TV show Matlock with Andy Griffith. They filmed a lot of that show around here. Pardon me. Of course, Andy Griffith is a North Carolina native. I grew up in Wilmington from the age of 7 till 16. We are right now at the Water and Market Streets, and we are going to wander through my memory, my reality and dreams. It's all melding together here. We're going to walk along Water Street for a little bit. And I'm going to tell you stuff, and we're going to see stuff. A lot of, you can see this is a nice restaurant. Up here, I forget which one it is. Somewhere down here is the, not Docksider, but a Bridge Tender, or, anyway, this is Michael's on the Waterfront. It smells delicious. We are on the Cape Fear River, and I'm going to pop over here real quick to show you the Cape Fear River. I am easily distracted, just a caveat there, and I will switch things midstream to point stuff out. This is the Cape Fear River. Wilmington's on the Cape Fear. Off to the right is a bridge over the river, and across the way is the USS North Carolina, a World War II era battleship. And we'd go over there as kids on field trips and to explore and all that fun stuff. Downstream, you have a bridge, drawbridge, and then the port of North Carolina, the port of Wilmington, which is a major eastern seaboard port. There is so much cool stuff to do here in Wilmington, so much history that needs to be acknowledged as well as learned. And I'm going to share some of this stuff with you as we go. I don't know how many walks we're going to get out of Wilmington. It's not a huge city, but it is beautiful. It's got a lot of cool old buildings, a lot of history, as I said, a lot of personal history for me. Some of which I remember, and I'm discovering as I've come down here, a very surreal experience. Some of which I don't remember. There's a lot of things that have changed. I was here, I think I was last here 30 years ago, and of course, we moved away in 1989, so that's 32 years. Let me give you a little details about our day here. It is about 11 a.m. on a Thursday in early December. It's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about, 10 degrees Celsius? There is it's a lot of cool stuff. So in Wilmington, it's about 100 and some thousand people, and What else? I don't know. I'm not really interested in talking about that stuff this time, but it's home to the Azalea Festival in the spring, which is a big festivities. I think it's called the Riverfest downtown in the summer, which they bring in lots of music, they close streets down, all that fun stuff. I saw a sign for ghost tours. We never took a ghost tour while we were here. I don't think maybe they had them. Anyway, you can do sightseeing on the river. They have awesome museums. They've got the battleship across the way. They've got the Riceville Beach. I did a couple walks out there yesterday. One was pretty short, but it was just a walk along the beach, and it was really pleasant. This is the market shops here. And we're going to wend our way back and forth along here. I know we're kind of going into the sun. Let me get across the street. That'll help a little. Cornwallis was here in the Revolutionary War. One thing I want to mention is the coup that happened in the late 1890s, and some real horrific racial stuff went on, where some white supremacists basically did a coup and took over the city and I think county government, killed some black leaders in the community, and they pretty much got away with it, and then kind of buried it. This is what they call the river walk. We'll go out to the river here a little bit further. We are really close to the ocean, hence the port. And the river is actually smaller than I remember it. Of course, I was much younger back then. Everything seemed bigger, more dramatic. It's interesting. There's an osprey. It's interesting how our perception changes over time. But it's been a surreal experience for me to come back here. I appreciate you guys sharing that, and I will be regaling you with personal stories as we go. You can see there's some boat tours you can take along the river, which would actually be a lot of fun, I think. I can definitely see us coming back here and spending some time just to enjoy the area as tourists, let alone a former resident. I haven't really kept track of old friends from here. We've moved around so much, and we're only here for a day. Otherwise, I would have tried to maybe look somebody up. So this river walk goes all along the waterfront here. Oh yeah, maybe the restaurant was called Chandler's Wharf. There's bridge tenders out by the beach. Hopefully I'm not clicking away with these zippers. It's just on the edge of cool here. The temperature, of course, we get a lot of humidity here. So you can see that bridge is it's Highway 74, which is on its way to becoming an interstate, a major controlled access interstate. But it's still a highway for now. This is the bridge tender, or Chandler's Wharf over here, sorry. Or no. Wow, talk about interesting memories. So it's actually the Pilot House, and that was a fancy to me at however old I was, young teens. And we'd go there, I don't know, when people would come in from out of town or something. Looks like Elijah's is down here as well. remember we came down here with my aunt and uncle, and we had a dinner, and I had just gotten braces, and they'd maybe been tightened or something. I think this white building down here on the right is the pilot house, but we were at the pilot house, and I got a salad with new braces and a vinaigrette. So yeah, that's the restaurant down there. A vinaigrette dressing. Oh, that was a mistake. And that vinegar, the braces, the wires and stuff had sort of torn up the inside of my mouth, and that vinegar hit, and that was unpleasant. Everything's kind of done up for Christmas here. We're gonna make our way up here to Front Street. See some of these old homes, which are absolutely beautiful. If you come down to Wilmington, you can, it's pay parking, but it's pay by phone, which is an app they use. Super easy. Lots of cities use it. You have to set up your account with your car stuff and your credit card, and then you just put in the location. We're on Ann Street now, if you're following along on a map. And we are, make a right here. You'll see some of these old stately homes. We did not live down here. We lived over by the main mall at the time. Oh, we got a horse-drawn carriage. That's fun. A much newer part of town, but it was pretty cool though there too. Hey, this one's for sale. I'm sure it is at a discount. Ha ha ha! I love these old houses. And they're everywhere down here. I think, historically, you hear a lot about Savannah and Charleston. And I think Wilmington doesn't get a lot of press, which is actually kind of nice. You make enough of those lists and you end up like Bozeman, Montana, where everybody wants to move there. And I don't mean to denigrate Bozeman or the people that are moving there. I certainly moved there. But it causes issues, and it's nice to have a little secret pocket. Coming up on Nunn Street here as we walk along Front Street. But these houses are just amazing. I had a friend that lived somewhere down here. I don't remember the address or anything. Of course, it was a little different back then. It wasn't as prosperous a city before I-40 came in, before the movie and TV studios came in. But it's still a pretty nice place. And anyway, he lived down here. He came down, spent the night a few times, and wandered around, get into a little trouble here and there, as young teenagers are wont to do. Nothing too serious. And we didn't get caught much either. Look at this. I love these giant porches. I always feel like you get these decorative porches on new houses, and they're not really big enough to to sit out on and enjoy. I love a good porch, good covered porch. Oh my gosh, you guys. This house here is built in 1826. Got these legs up against the window up there. This is Thomas Smith House, 1873. All these are pretty much they all pretty much have historic placards on them. I love this. We'll make our way back here in a little bit, but I just love these houses. And then, so we'd come down here for, big festivals, and they do a big fireworks show on the 4th of July, and Christmas lights, and all that fun stuff. We're on Church Street here. We're headed up Church Street for this place. And, all the parades and that sort of thing. I love these old brick roads, too, that they've maintained. You can tell these houses are a little smaller, but still really nice. Got a little cool breeze blowing today. Hopefully the microphone on this DJI Osmo Pocket 2 microphone will handle that successfully. And I love the difference in plant life here. So much. So humid. How you doing? So much moisture here. So much deciduous plant life. I didn't realize it until I was driving around, and all these leaves and the detritus of having plants. It's a big part of the memories from here. Coming up on 2nd and Church. And I guess we'll go left on 2nd. So we're kind of headed north at this point. There's not much traffic, so I'll walk down the middle of the street. I like to do that because it gives us a little bit better perspective on the houses on either side. Look at the vines growing up this telephone pole. There's a base engine on that Beamer. Look at this ornate place. See the AC units mounted on that 3rd story roof or whatever it is. It's a U.S. Navy plane flying over. We're in the flight path of the airport today. And I think there is a Navy base here, but I can't remember what it is. Or maybe they just base the airplanes out of it. Oh man, this is Nunn Street again. Gotta remember to check, keep an eye on my time. I could walk around here all day. Look at this place. Try not to get run over, but I see a plaque up there. As with almost all of these, that's the Benjamin Beery House. Oh, it's a bed and breakfast. 1854. It must be a nightmare to keep these up. The humidity here And the salt air just, I think, blasts these places. And especially if you don't have modern siding, you know, just keeping things, the paint up to date is probably quite a, what am I looking for? Quite an effort. It's not the right word, but challenge? Looks like they're doing some work on this one. Maybe. Coming up on 3rd Street, which is a major thoroughfare. I kind of like this picket fence here, this narrow pickets. It's a little different. All right, we're going to make a left. All right, James Sprunt, author of The Chronicles of the Cape Fear River. British Vice Consul, 2 blocks west. Now, this is west, it's down towards the river. I think my friend, his mom might have been a Sprunt. It's kind of a family name in the area. There's a little collection of beach houses down on Riceville Beach that they called Spruntville when I was there. Maybe she was a Murchison. That was another name. Look at all this, these trees too. We'll get down here and see some of these old oak trees. They're fantastic. Look at this. One of the things I like is how these old trees tower over the streets and sort of create these tunnels. Probably not great if you're driving a semi to deliver goods downtown, but pretty cool to see. Pretty Edenic. All right, let's cross over. Push for the lights here. Hope for the best. Guess they don't really do that. Oh. It's an interesting cultural thing, whether people in a place routinely stop for pedestrians and crosswalks and stuff. People are really pretty good about it in Montana. Could just be the road too. Look at this. I think is this a poplar tree? Or no? Yeah, is it poplar? No. What is it? Sycamore. That's what I'm thinking of. I came up this way because there's some buildings, big columns that I don't remember, so I thought, well, I'll go check those out and see what it is. We'll loop back towards 3rd because there's a couple places I want to share with you. This, well, it might be a school, in which case I'm not going to film it, but the Sister Something Center. So I think it's kind of a school, church school, something like that. I'm gonna go straight here because I don't remember this building. It's got these awesome minarets. It's probably a church. They're not minarets, sorry, they're bell towers. Look at this place. Basilica of St. Mary. Huh. I did not know. Pretty. Coming up on 5th Street. Love the old Spanish moss. I'm going to show that to you right here. It's not actual moss, they just call it that, of course. But it's actually, I believe, a lichen, which is a combination of algae and fungus or something like that. It's like a symbiotic relationship. You can see it drapes over so much stuff. It's a parasite, I believe. Doesn't kill the trees. You wouldn't notice it from where it is, but it does, I believe, use the trees. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, in the YouTube comment section. I sometimes forget there is a Roku channel. I'm not the tech guy on that. I just agreed to let some people run it for me. And it doesn't really get updated. And so I don't know if this will make it on there or not. We'll get down here. I think it's Dawson or Market. Not Market. Anyway, we'll get down here and I'll show you where we used to go to church. One of the places. But first, we're going to make a left on Orange. So this goes down a few blocks to the right, and similar all around here. Here's some good Spanish moss hanging down. Man, I tell you what, here in the summer it gets humid and warm. Look at this beautiful house over here. Love the paint, the detailed paint they've done. Again, that must be such a challenge to maintain, but it sure looks nice. And then over there, that upper porch with the kind of the curtains up there are pretty cool too. And there's another one up there, they've done that. I like that style. Of course, you can't really do that in Livingston because they'll just blow away or blow to tatters. This is 1911, the Gwaltney house, Gwaltney Martin house. That's for sale if you want to buy it. Here's some lovely, I think these are azaleas, beautiful flowers. Then you've got these, I forget what kind of trees they are. They've got these beautiful red berries though. Isn't that nice? All right, so this on the right is not where we'd go to church. We had friends that would go here, First Presbyterian. This is a beautiful home here. The Rankin Walker House. That's pretty. Love that style of window over there. It's kind of Tudor style. Whoops. Windows and the stonework. We'll go down here, make a right on 3rd, and go down a couple more blocks, and I'll show you St. James, which is where I went to church. Some of it. In fact, interestingly enough, we bought our house from the minister there, who then my dad became good friends with, and whose brother I ran into and became friends with in Bozeman, Montana. He'd retired out there. Talk about small world. Look at this. I like the ironwork on that porch over there on the left side, on the Orange Street side. So we'll sort of give you a view of this, First Pres. It's probably, I don't see a cornerstone. It's probably been here for a few hundred years. I will try to put a link in the description about the coup that I mentioned, and there was another thing in the 70s. I think they had some bombings, and it's, we're in the deep South, so there's no getting around that history of cotton and tobacco plantations and the horrific slavery that powered all of that, on which it was built. So I will try to remember to put a link in the description. If I don't, please remind me. Somebody remind me, because I want to make sure that is acknowledged. It's the Gibbons house. I don't remember that. It's funny that when we're little, we don't really know. We don't have the context in our lives to remember a lot of these things. We just go along with what our parents, most of us, with what our parents tell us and what they think were important. The little things, unimportant things that we find important as children, because we're hopefully being taken care of. This is St. James over here. Lovely little, I don't know what the term is, but basically this is offices and maybe a residence. But I think it's mainly offices. Is it the baptistry? I don't really remember. Anyway, it's kind of an old Tudor style. And then it sits up here on the corner. Adam, empty. First chaplain of the U.S. Military Academy, West Point, 1813-1870. President William and Mary College, and rector of St. James Church. And there is an empty park over by where we used to live. We'd ride our bikes over there, and they had this awesome old, it's probably it's definitely a health hazard at the time, safety hazard, but we didn't care. We just climbed all over a cinder block castle. Loved that thing. I thought that was so cool. Look at this old tree. I don't even know what kind of tree that is. So we'd come here, go to Sunday's church, and then when we got older, they'd have church lock-ins. I think I was on the basketball team when I was little. I had a basketball court set up in the basement, maybe. It wasn't like big enough for a basketball court. This is Market Street. I love this. And what's funny here to me is that in my memory, this was brick. And pretty confident, maybe it's brick under the plaster, but it has been plastered for a long time. So it's just kind of an interesting way our memories can fool us, right? They're not fixed in ink or stone or brick in this case. Interesting. So downtown is off to the left, and we'll get into a little bit of that in this walk, but then I'm going to do another walk to really cover that. Look at this Spanish moss on this tree as we come back up onto 4th. Ooh, that's a lot. It's got berries on the tree, so hasn't killed the tree. Some of these headstones are from the 1700s. These old streets. This is the Temple of Israel, 1875 to 1876, a Jewish temple, or at least it was. July 15th, 1875 is what the cornerstone says. When I moved here from Montana when I was little, 7 years old, they don't have big spruce trees here. They have pine, but it's more of like a Scotch pine. Look at this old place. And we went to the lighting of the big Christmas tree, which was actually an old oak tree, which was massive, a massive old oak tree, but it was so different than what I was used to. That over there is the Bellamy Mansion. Here is, I don't know, a fountain. I'm sure that has a name. We'll go across here. This is 5th and Market. It's funny, I think my dad at the time had started a franchise called Wash on Wheels. It was a power washing company. I don't think they're around anymore. Push a button here. But pretty sure he power washed that building a long time ago. It was in a lot poorer repair. Trying not to get run over. We'll go take a look. I remember somebody putting soap in there in that fountain before, sudsing over. That's a fun prank. Just gonna cross with the heck. Huh. William B. Gould was an enslaved Bellamy plasterer and joined the Union Navy after escaping in 1862, kept detailed war diary. Live 2 blocks north of here. That's fascinating. I kind of want to look that up. In fact, I'm going to take a picture of that. So I can. You can see it's still got a little bit of a old wear and tear here. But look how beautiful that is. It's all done up for Christmas. Look at the ironwork. We're going to go back here to 5th and go down a block. We'll see this side. Looks like it's, I mean, you know, it's 180 years old, 160 years old or more. In a harsh environment. But it was hot here in the 1860s. And especially if you were not a free person. This is the Carriage House Visitor Center. Must be part of the plantation house. We looked at St. James earlier, and I was told that Cornwallis used that as a stable for his troops when he was here. I don't know if that's true or not. These old houses across the way. Kind of want to find, there's an old theater called Thalian Hall that we would go to on school trips or to see like Peter Pan or something. I don't know. There we go. 0.1 miles. Oh, good. We'll see it down here in a minute. A lot of attorneys at law here. See if I can get across without getting run over. We're on Princess Street, by the by. Morning. Not everything is old and mossy covered. As you get downtown, you get a kind of a mix of modern, like this, and old. Oh, excuse me. I think we recall going, you know, it's Christmas time as I film this. I think I recall going to see the Christmas Carol at Thalian Hall, which is up here on the right, and we'll take a look at it in a minute. Coming up on 4th Street. I think beyond that might be the public, no. Somewhere down here is the public library, and got a lot of memories of that as well. Such an amazing place to go as a kid with all those exciting books and discovering new books. This must be the Law and Justice Center over here on the left. I think we will cross. Sorry. That's what happens when you're a little bit indecisive. That on me, I was being indecisive. Okay, Thalian Hall is up here on the right. The judicial building is this modern cement thing on the left. I guess that's part of it, the columned bit with the food truck out front. And then this is Thalian Hall. Not much to look at from this side, but we'll go around the front, and it's really a beautiful old building. I'm not sure what this is. This red brick. It's probably part of the what do you call it? Law and Justice Center. Oh, New Hanover County Sheriff's Department. Right there. Alright, coming up on Major General Joseph McNeil Way. I'm pretty sure it was 3rd Street. But we'll take a look at Thalian Hall over here. Look at it. Yep, right there. Look at this. This is one of the weird things. In my mind, this was smaller, but it is massive. It's getting a little bit of a facelift here, a little touch up. Look at that. That is downright European in scope. I guess it's the old City Hall. It's hard to fit into this wide-angle lens. It's like these kids might have gone to I think they're on maybe a field trip. We won't get too close to them. I'm actually going to cross over and go down a block. Woo, woohoo! Wait, hold on. I'm going to show you this. Thalian Hall. That's the box office, the modern entrance. Really, I remember it being a really interesting, old, antique, historic, internal theater, a theater on the inside. That yellow brick building is the county library, and I can remember the smell of the library, all those great books, old, and going up to the kids area and searching through all the fiction and discovering new adventures. Oh, such a great memory. That's such a great thing about those libraries. Here's a wider shot of Thalian. They really are so instrumental. I mean, I don't think I can overstate the importance of reading. Here we'll get a better shot of Thalian. And we're coming back towards Princess Street. Peek down Princess Street, but we will cover that later. We are going to go down to Market again. William Hooper, one of North Carolina's 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence. His home was here. There's a great, well, at least I remember it being great. I haven't been in 30 years, but a museum, I think it's a county or city museum up to the left up Market Street. I just remember having some really cool dioramas talking about pirates and blockade runners and all that sort of stuff, and just being a really cool, engaging museum. It's up about, I don't know, 4 or 5 blocks up there, I think. And there is St. James again. Isn't that funny? I'm going to go across the street and show you this. This interesting building over here, the Bergen Wright building. So this is open for tours, if you ever want to do that. There's a planter. I think it's just a historical home. Little garden over here. The winter sun is low enough that it plays with the exposure on this camera, the auto exposure. I think this building right here, if I recall correctly, used to be a movie theater. And when we very first moved here, we came and saw a rerun of Song of the South, which is Brer Rabbit and that sort of thing, an old Disney film that is no longer available because of all the racist tropes in it. And while, you know, I'm not gonna say anything about that. This is Paper Cut Books. And we are back at Market Street and 2nd. And this is where I'm gonna take a break. Because I'm gonna I gotta move my car for one thing. And also, I'm gonna do that second walk here in Wilmington, which I hope you will come back for in a few days to enjoy. Here at 2nd and Market, you can see welcome to historic Wilmington downtown. So I hope you'll join us for that. Thank you for joining us for this. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Please comment. I love the comments. Let me know about your North Carolina memories, your Wilmington or Riceville Beach memories, or other vacation memories. Any additions or corrections or things maybe you think I didn't quite cover that I should have. I would appreciate that. I think this is mistletoe up in this tree here. Anyway, we will see you again soon from Wilmington. Until then, keep on stepping.